Hey, you guys, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the podcast. You're going to notice we're a little behind on the upload schedule. We had an SD card, a camera SD card, format on me, lost a bunch of work, lost a bunch of podcasts. So we're in the process of recovering that, and this is one of the episodes where we were not able to recover some of the footage. So if you're watching on YouTube, our logo is going to be spread across the entire time. But if you want to listen on audio, this podcast is also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, this is also available. So if you want to hop off of YouTube and listen to this elsewhere, it's available there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as always, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Exordia Creative Podcast. It's a beautiful Monday afternoon here at the Exordia Creative office, and had a bunch of stuff go on over the last little while since we last spoke. Mm-hmm. I feel like this podcast is kind of like a weekly recap for pop culture, for business news and stuff like that.
Yeah, a little
like
mix of
what we did on the weekend.
Pretty much what we're interested in.
Yeah.
The United States officially has a new president.
Yep.
Joe Biden was sworn in.
Yeah.
At the inauguration just after our last week episode.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday, but he's officially the president of the United States.
Yeah, but the star of the show was definitely Bernie Sanders.
Yes.
That picture of him wearing the mittens.
Dude.
All stanced up.
Man.
Completely viral.
Like really viral. Like to the point where it's almost annoying. I don't know if you've definitely seen one.
Yeah.
One or the other. And I think Instagram made stickers for it now, so everybody's, instead of going into Photoshop and doing it, you can just throw it on.
It's
whatever.
everywhere. You know when like the local Chatham business community starts using the meme.
Yeah.
Ryan Resnack, local real estate agent. Mm-hmm. I saw he posted it on one of his listings. Yeah. So it's penetrated the mainstream.
Ford and McIntyre did a really good one.
Oh, really? I didn't see it.
They did. They had the Bernie meme in the pocket of the Saks underwear.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, they made it like really easy to create your own content with it, which is cool, and it's safe for work. So it kind of reminded me of Dogface, the ocean spray guy.
Yeah.
A while ago, just because it's highly shareable, it's safe for work, it's like friendly, wholesome content.
Yeah.
So it can just go everywhere.
Yeah.
And we've seen it like completely blow up this week.
Yeah, I'm kind of annoyed of it now. Like I feel like everybody's used it. We all got our taste of it. It's like it becomes less funny. I find memes once everybody starts using it.
Yeah,
100%. It's okay.
I don't know. That's the process. Then we just wait for the next thing. One really good one.
This was a missed opportunity. We should have done a Bernie one for Steve's and done now a topping or something. That would have been really good.
Put him on a pizza.
Hindsight's 20/20.
Put him outside, waiting for the lunch menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, but tomorrow is officially the first day of the Steve's Pizzeria lunch menu launch.
Oh yes, so today, if you're watching, listening today, you can now order lunch at Steve's.
Yep, 6 days a week, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day except Monday.
Yeah,
they got a lot of new stuff. Of course, you can order whatever you want. You can order the classics, fries supreme, nachos supreme. But he's put together a pretty big menu. We just launched it on social media, so you can go check it out. A lot of creation, comfort food, spin-offs on like fries, and a lot of cool stuff. So check it out if you guys are interested. Yeah,
it was really fun shooting the menu. Mm-hmm. Got to try some of the stuff. It was really good.
Yeah, if you go check them out on social media, there's a bunch of photo, video. You can read the menu itself.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff. So yeah, shout out to Steve's. We're really excited.
Yeah.
To get a new lunch spot in town.
Yeah.
Because there's not much out there. There's a Subway.
There's not a lot of takeout.
It's on Grand East by Cajun Pepper.
Yeah, there's not a lot of variety of takeout. You know, so
yeah,
I think the next couple of months is going to be really focused on getting this lunch menu out and rolling, make it become a local lunch spot. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about this last week, how I was saying like I was getting a little bored of the takeout, because I go through phases where I get a lot of takeout, but I've started trying to cook more, just because it gets old after a while, especially if you're on like a special diet. There's just not that much, but it gives you an excuse to get in the kitchen. Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah. So I'm not into sports. I'm not a big sports guy. I don't have a football team. I don't have a hockey team. I'm not really. I've always gravitated towards individual sports. So when I was growing up, I skateboarded. I still dabble in that and stuff.
Right.
And about a year ago, probably, I started mixing in boxing and stuff into my routine, like just hitting a bag, like not actually punching people or taking punches, because I don't want to get hit in the head.
Fair.
But I've started to really like MMA, and some of our friends are really into it. And so there's a big fight this weekend, Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. So I'm sure most of you have heard of Conor McGregor.
Right.
He's pretty well known. Anyway, he was supposed to win, and Dustin Poirier just really attacked his legs for the first round, and then the second round just knocked him out. So that was crazy. So whoever bet on Poirier made some serious money.
That's cool. Kind of a nice underdog story. Yeah. Because like Conor McGregor is definitely one of the top guys in the league, and he gets a lot of publicity no matter who he fights. And I don't have much background on this. I didn't really watch the fight. I tuned into some of the earlier matches. But like I find when they do big fight nights like this, they just go so late.
Yeah, the fight didn't come on till like 12:30.
Yeah, like the main card is after.
I think I napped before.
Yeah. And I get it. Like, you don't want to have the less exciting fights after the main fight because people are just going to stop watching. Exactly. And you want to build anticipation to, like, the final climax. But, like, I don't know. I can't handle that much. Yeah. But I know it was a really good fight, and it's kind of a cool underdog story because apparently these guys had fought, like, 5-6 years ago, and Conor McGregor won. So to see a comeback like that is kind of cool. Yeah. So now I think they're going to go another round. But anyway, I don't know if you guys are into MMA, but I like the sport. I've liked it the last little while watching it. So cool. The stadium setup that they had was cool. Oh, in Abu Dhabi. Yeah. Abu Dhabi. Yeah, they had like a cool like drone light setup. They had like all these drones flying around for the lighting. Yeah. It was pretty sweet. Yeah. Really futuristic. It was cool. Yeah. There were people in the crowd. Yep. Very like sparse, but there were some like every 5 seats or so. Mm-hmm. So you have some kind of semblance of an audience. Mm. Do you think that would help or hurt to have less people? Because I feel like some fighters or some performers or athletes feed off the crowd, whereas some might be more inclined to do better if there's no one watching. And I think that's exactly it. The cool part is, and it depends on if you like this sound or if you like hearing the actual sport take place, but there's no crowds really going on. It's so distracting. But you can hear people, you can hear the punches land. And in football, like I'm sure you can hear the calls being made and all that kind of stuff, which is kind of cool and stuff that you wouldn't be able to hear. And you can hear everything that the management team wants to tell you. Yes, which is kind of cool. Better communication, cool. Because you know they're not wearing earpieces or anything. And but I think there's other sports. I think in baseball they pump in the sound, which is kind of cringe. Really? Yeah. Like they have like an artificial crowd sound? I think so. One of the sports does. Gotcha. Anyway. So I mean, it's part of the experience. In Abu Dhabi, though, they had to quarantine for like before the fight and stuff. So everybody's been COVID checked and all that. Mm-hmm. It's interesting how they've navigated still putting these fights on throughout all this. So yeah. And I'm not a big sports person myself, but I know the NHL is doing this condensed season where they're trying to fit in a bunch of games in like a shorter time span. So there's like 5 games a day every single day. Really? Teams are having to play like every day 3 or 4 times a week now. So definitely different energy threshold that you need to keep up like that. Yeah. Like I know some of the more high action sports, they only play like once every week or so, like football. But every other day seems like a lot. That's a lot. Plus there's, traveling all over the country. Yeah. Dude, hockey's dying. What can they do to revive that sport? Like NASCAR, for example. It's always been tough for NASCAR because you pick out athletes, right? A lot of the individual athletes are what make the sport so large. And with NASCAR, they wear helmets and they're in cars. So you don't get to see them. Yeah. I'd say make the periods shorter. Like I know the NBA was considering doing that, or maybe they have for a little bit, just to keep up with like more fleeting attention spans, which I think is a good idea. Yeah. But yeah, there's so many barriers to entry in the sport. Like equipment is expensive, and if you don't live in a place with a decent hockey arena, then you just leave it at the door. I have a question for you. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. It's all good. It's for somebody else. Okay. It isn't here. Can I leave it with you? Yeah, absolutely. We'll figure it out. Yep. Yeah, I'll just leave her a message for it's at. Is it for Sarah? For Amanda Protocols. Okay, we'll try and figure it out. I'll send her a message. She'll know where it's at. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we just got a random delivery. Wonder what it is. And that is why you locked the door. Let's do a live unboxing. Do you want me to go get it and see? No. I don't recognize that name though, so
No, me either.
we'll have to do a scavenger hunt after this.
Yeah, or somebody's going to come to our door right now and say, hey, did you get my package? I'm going to go put it outside the door.
Okay, good idea. Yeah, maybe lock it on the way in. But yeah, we're blessed to be in a spot where, we have multiple local hockey arenas that you can go to. And there is a big, local hockey scene. But for most of the world, that's not the case.
Yeah.
And for that barrier, I think it makes it harder for younger, new generations to get into the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, a sport like soccer, football, as it's called, if you have a ball, you can play.
Yeah.
Right, and you see people playing with makeshift balls, makeshift nets, makeshift everything.
We had to do that in high school. I remember the Haiti soccer tournament or something. We had to make a ball out of tape.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you can develop the core skills for the sport with nothing other than your able body, then that opens up the scale of potential players. The talent is better. There's more interest.
Mm-hmm.
It's internationally involved.
Yeah.
So I think hockey just from the onset, for that reason isn't likely to hold as much popularity.
Yeah.
And now, of course, with the onset of esports, it's a totally different ball game. We're seeing one of the biggest paradigm shifts in professional sporting ever. It's easier to watch, easier to play. There's more money in it, and I find that a really interesting trend, the rise of streaming through platforms like Twitch. Some of our friends even do it casually. I find that really cool.
It takes a lot of stamina to play esports, and there's a lot of backlash from people that like traditional sports or that play traditional sports and say that esports is kind of whatever. But at the end of the day, esports is the exact same as regular sports. You're watching somebody play a game. It just
100%.
happens to be a video game. And I couldn't imagine, I can't sit at my desk that long and just play a game, you know. So yeah, multi-billion dollar industry, esports. So
yeah, and I mean, there's two sides to it, right? Professional players who are very high in technical skill, but don't necessarily have to be entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas there are some people who are completely mediocre at video games, but if they're charismatic enough, then you'll watch them for that.
Yeah.
And you'll watch them just blunder around a game and do okay. But because they have an interesting rapport with their audience, that's equally as valid. Mm-hmm. And if you manage to have both of those, a decent amount of charisma and a decent amount of skill, then you see people at the top of the industry who can do both.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's exhausting to constantly think about what you say. You know what I mean? And have to entertain while worrying about how you're doing in a game.
I'm sure we've all cussed or something while we've been playing a video game.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
except these streams go on for 12 hours.
Exactly. And you have, in some cases, hundreds of thousands, millions of people watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
It takes a lot of bandwidth to do that.
Yeah. In other tech news, I got onto Clubhouse.
Right, we were talking about this the other week.
I got on this morning. It's interesting how it works. So
yeah, walk us through how you signed up.
So basically, I downloaded the app. You put in your suggested username,
mm-hmm.
and then you put in your actual name and some other little details and stuff, and your phone number.
Sure.
And then you get a text that says, "Hey, thank you for your interest in Clubhouse or whatever. We'll send you a notification when you've been accepted."
Okay.
So you go into a wait list. But what I didn't know is that people can bump you up the wait list. So this morning at 10:30, 11 o'clock, I get a notification. It said that Braden Milson, shout out to you, Braden, invited me onto TikTok. So then I got bumped up
onto Clubhouse.
and then I get into Clubhouse. So you have to know somebody on Clubhouse in order to get into Clubhouse.
Gotcha.
And so what the app is based off, I've spent maybe 10 minutes total looking through the app. Once you're in, you fill out this thing, what your interests are, blah, blah, blah. And if there's people you already know that are on TikTok, you can follow them. Anyway, and then it curates this feed for you based off of your interests. And then you can just hop into rooms. So it's an audio only app. So you hop into a room, and one of them could be some business mastermind or whatever. There's 1,700 people in it.
Right.
And then you just listen in on the conversation. You can talk into the conversation, be a part of it. I think the host has the ability to mute everybody else except for them while they're speaking.
Gotcha.
And they can grant access to whoever to talk. So
as a room host, you could set your own permissions, who may or may not join.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool. You can make a closed room as well. If you've got a group of friends or whatever and you guys want to talk, you can do that, which is cool. So that's my synopsis so far. I really haven't played around with it too much, but cool. I mean, if it takes off, awesome.
Yeah. How big is the user base?
No clue.
Do you have any sort of like profile page?
Yes. You have your own profile.
Is it publicly viewable?
Yes.
What kind of content can you put on it?
Your bio, your name, your picture.
Okay.
Very similar to like an Instagram thing.
Can
And
you
then-
store any chat logs or anything like that? Can you archive
I
content?
don't think so. Because it's all voice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a trend this year. Zoom, not only this year, but just go back to the rise in esports, Discord, and
Audio, man.
yeah, since the well, I mean, yeah, the audio trend for sure, but more so just the trend of like connecting with people remotely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, since the pandemic, it's absolutely taken off. There are a lot of beneficiaries of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
Think about all the things you could do with Clubhouse. Like you could start your own room or whatever and charge people to come into the room.
Mm-hmm.
You could do events on Clubhouse where you have like guest speakers and
Yeah.
they can come into your room and they can, like, I think it's quite limitless. So I wanted to get on. I want to toy around with it a little bit, see what I can learn. But yeah, audio's everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's passive content. You don't have to look at your phone. You don't have to be sitting somewhere. You can be out on a walk. You could be doing whatever and just.
I'd be curious to know how they're going to distinguish themselves from other like team platforms. I guess because you can browse public rooms
Yeah.
and join whatever.
And I think the exclusivity is a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a big thing.
I'd be curious about like their stances on moderation and regulation.
And how they moderate that.
Yeah. In light of everything that's going on right now,
Mm-hmm.
like one of the number one social apps, Parler, was recently pretty much blacklisted from the internet. We talked about it in a previous episode because some of their moderation policies and some of the content that they were letting fly was deemed unacceptable by the App Store and the Google Play Store. So I wonder if the rise in popularity here is because it's smaller and maybe it's going to be moderated differently. Maybe they have some different viewpoints versus like the Facebooks and Twitters of the world.
I don't know. We'll see. Is there somebody just like tuning in at the Clubhouse headquarters and they're just like listening to every conversation? They hear something, they can just punch to it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I'm sure they'll have like AI listening bots or whatever to listen in. I'm sure they're figuring that out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they're figuring that out. And I don't know how big the user base is. I'd be curious to know. Is it hundreds of thousands? Is it millions? Is it tens of millions?
And when did this come out?
I don't know. I only started hearing about it like a month ago.
Yeah, me too.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like this whole trend of, you know, fulfilling that need for human connection in this new landscape. I think there's a lot of companies that are doing a great job capitalizing on it. Some are making blunders along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see.
As far as brands and the Bernie meme, sorry to jump back.
Yeah.
IKEA wins.
What do
They
they
came
do?
out with a foldable chair and they called it the Bernie with a apostrophe over the E.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
A folding chair.
It looks like the same
It's
chair.
a folding chair, yeah.
Does it have like a picture of Bernie or anything?
No,
just the same
Just a
chair.
folding chair with his name, basically.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I think it was some like small business / charity initiative where he got the mittens from,
Yes.
and a lot of people are looking into them.
Yeah.
I also know that
They're one of ones, though. She was like literally making them and gave them to Bernie. And,
Oh,
like you can't get
gotcha.
those same mittens,
Gotcha.
which is kind of
I
funny.
think we're gonna see somebody try to recreate them soon.
Yeah.
I know he himself or his administration made merch, like they put the picture on a sweater
Mm-hmm.
and they sold out and they gave all the proceeds to some charity, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the power of virality.
Yeah.
I wonder how long we're gonna be hearing about this
Wonder
one.
if he's gonna run again. Probably. I'll probably try again.
Yeah,
He's getting old too,
there's
though.
no upper age limit.
There's not. Should there be?
It's hard to say. I mean, like, the term limit kind of addresses that, but not really, because as a newcomer, you can start your term conceivably at any time.
Maybe there should be a cognitive test or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We're just starting to see. I think there's only one millennial aged person in the U.S. Congress right now.
Who's that?
I'm not sure of their name,
Okay.
but only one. Right.
How old's Yang?
Everybody else is Gen X and above,
Yeah.
which is crazy. I think the median age is like 56 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think the age floor to be a member of Congress is 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's like one 31-year-old. So let alone Gen Z representation, which is going to take, a decade to start to see any really.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one millennial, which was surprising to me.
Yeah.
I thought it would be, Gen X or baby boomer heavy, but to see only one was shocking to me.
I think that also our generation looks at politics different than other generations too.
I would agree. What do you think?
You stand back and you look at the whole political scene. It's like, do you really want to get into all of this? It's really been tarnished in the last little while. It's not looked upon as positively as I think it used to be.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know. I can't speak to how maybe older generations used to look at it, but I'm pretty distrustful of the process, and I always have been.
Mm-hmm.
To answer your question, though, I don't know how old Andrew Yang is. Maybe 40s.
Yeah, he's pretty young in comparison to
for sure.
Else.
He's overqualified for the position, but now he's running for the mayor of New York.
Oh, cool.
Which is kind of cool. I think their election is in maybe 6 months.
Oh, wow. It's like soon.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Cool. I didn't know that.
A lot of people in New York are ready for change.
Yeah.
So his campaign stance is he wants to be like the anti-poverty mayor.
Yeah, and he's very business focused too. So it'll be interesting to see how because I don't know where we're going to be at in 6 months with the whole pandemic. It'll be interesting to see how he approaches the pandemic, if that is the case, if he does become mayor, or what power he'll even have.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see like an entrepreneurial approach to the office. Mm-hmm. Even though our most notable recent example of an entrepreneurial approach to the office would be Donald Trump, but that's another story, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a tech entrepreneur, which I have like a favorable bias towards. So I'd be excited to see what he does.
Yeah. Locally here in Ontario, the lockdown is supposed to be done February 11th.
Right. I've got a haircut sometime on my calendar this week. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think 11th is the date.
Yeah.
Are kids going back to schools?
I think well? Some are, some aren't. Before then, I believe.
Okay.
I think.
I'm really not sure.
I don't know either. Do you think it's going to get extended?
The lockdown?
Yeah.
I'll see what happens on the 11th.
Yeah.
I'm really not taking anything for granted.
I'm interested. I just want to look at our numbers really quick, just to, because they've been going down quite a bit.
Active cases in Chatham County?
Yeah.
I think it's somewhere around 100 or 90.
Less than that.
Yeah.
Yesterday was 70 something.
Oh wow. It's going down pretty quickly.
Yeah, and if you look at the charts, even provincially, it's starting to go down. So we jumped up 19.
What are we at?
103.
Okay.
Oof. And we're at 5 deaths.
Yeah, very very fickle number. I think it changes pretty quickly.
What the heck? That's pretty hectic.
It would have been nice to see like the downtrend continue after that post-Christmas spike.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks from Christmas, you understand there's going to be an increase, but it'd be nice to see it go down from there.
Yeah. I don't want to be locked up till spring.
Yeah.
But what can you do?
I take those numbers at face value. Are those lockdown dates, I should say.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
That's just an estimate as far as I'm concerned.
Wonder how soon in advance we'll find out if it's going to actually be done or if they're going to extend it.
Mm-hmm.
They usually do it a few days in advance.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I try not to think about it. I just try to, run my life based on the current guideline.
Yep.
And if things change, then great. But if not, I'm not going to be let down by it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. What else is going on? What's new?
Back on the tech topic, there's a couple notable earnings reports that I'm looking forward to this week. For example, Apple is reporting their previous quarter earnings.
Q4?
Which I'm really excited about. I think I talked about this back when they did their Q3. They staggered the way that they announced their earnings. So I think they're going to be calling this one the Q1 2021 earnings report. They're always like just about a quarter ahead. Mm-hmm. But anyway, for most intents and purposes, it's Q4 2020. Anyway, I'm super excited for this one because this is the first time in the history of the iPhone that they've released a full iPhone launch in Q4. So typically they release the phones in September, which falls in Q3 this year because of the pandemic and everything. All of the releases were like late October, early November. I think they did a kind of staggered launch. Plus there have been, I think, 2 new MacBooks also launched in the quarter, plus a new iPad launched in the quarter. So I think this is going to be the best Q4 the firm's ever seen. That's my prediction. I also think, based on previous performance with their services revenue, I think we're going to see a big increase there because they've recently started playing with some new service bundles. Like there's one called Apple One, which you pay one consolidated fee for a few of their different monthly services like TV and fitness and iCloud storage and Apple Music and stuff. So I'm interested to see their performance in the services sector, but I think the product sector is going to be absolutely booming right now.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah. Celine likes her new MacBook. She got one with the M1 chip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Celine.
Yeah.
She
liked it.
Yeah, she had like a pretty old MacBook, and it was starting to slow down, starting to run out of storage. So she upgraded to one of the new ones, which are very powerful in relation to the price that they charge. You get a lot more bang for your buck with these new ones. So it'll be cool to see how hers does.
Are you still on the fence? How's your laptop acting?
Long term? Yeah, my laptop's starting to go. It's laggy. Like it's not as I was telling Quentin before, I have this battery issue, but now it's kind of trickling into other things.
Yeah.
Like it starts to overheat a lot and starts to get slow. So it's showing its age.
Yeah.
But it's served me well. And
it's crazy though, because I've got the 17. Do you have the 16? I have the one just after yours.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, coming on 5 years old almost.
Yeah, and see, actually, that's actually not that bad, because I remember my 2013. Yeah, I guess that's about the same time. That's about their life.
About 5 years or so.
Yeah.
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 And if you're just using it for like casual application and you're not working on it, it'll last even longer.
No, exactly like Sarah. Sarah got hers in 2013. She has the MacBook Air, running like a top.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 years old.
Just a Chrome machine.
Just a Chrome machine.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And they retain their value pretty well.
Very
So
well.
in the resale market, they tend to do quite well.
Very well. I sold my old one for like $725.
That's pretty sweet. Fun fact, if you are considering which model to buy in order to maximize retaining some of the value of it, you should either do a full base model or completely maxed out, because it's quite pricey to do like incremental upgrades, like if you want to boost the RAM or if you want to boost the size of the hard drive when you're buying a new computer from Apple. And the ones that tend to be the most sought after are either fully maxed out, every option ticked off, or base model, no options ticked off.
Yeah.
Little fun fact if you're considering which one to get.
That's kind of the same with vehicles.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't know, if there's a mid-range trim on a vehicle, you're probably less likely to care about it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the two largest segments of potential vehicle buyers are the ones who don't care whatsoever and the ones who just want it iced out.
Yeah. Seen a few Tesla Model Ys around town lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you think of them?
I think they're cool. And so Sarah really hit me with a banging question the other day, because I'm still looking around at vehicles and stuff. Maybe in the next few months we'll pull the trigger. But anyway, she's like, I was talking to her about Tesla and stuff, and she's like, well, would you rather have a truck or a Tesla? I'm like, holy shit, I've never actually even considered that.
Why not both?
So then I went and I looked, and probably gonna go with a pickup truck for this round, but
Cybertruck it is.
yeah.
Could you imagine?
Could you imagine?
Those are going to be on the road by the end of 2021, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm just so excited for the first time I'm going to see one.
Dude,
just
it's gonna be nuts.
driving by.
It's gonna be nuts.
A full-
Somebody in Chatham will definitely buy one too.
Oh, yeah.
It's a truck.
A full steel body,
Yeah.
like nothing you've ever seen, completely unfinished, no paint.
Looks like a UFO. 100%. It's gonna be wild.
Super angular.
Yeah.
Looks like people were really memeing the design when it first came out. 'Cause
It's still memeable.
It just looks like very choppy and rough.
Yeah.
But it is cool to be like, whatever automotive design trends are going on right now, forget about them. Let's just make something totally new,
It's cool.
which I respect. Tesla actually shares their earnings call date with Apple,
Cool.
so that'll be a big Wednesday.
Little.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm also really excited about BlackBerry. I've been building a BlackBerry position in my portfolio, actually. I think as Canadians, we knew the BlackBerry story from day one. They were like the Waterloo sweetheart. One of the, I think they came from the 1980s or the 1990s. But as Canadians, we were always really proud of BlackBerry.
They were our iPhone.
Exactly. It was that one tech company. And when we were teenagers, they were pretty ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Like back to the BBM days.
We were the Bold boys. You and I had Bolds.
Yeah, I think I had...
You had two Bold. You had that. I remember you got that modern Bold with the...
I had at least one BlackBerry. I might have had two BlackBerries.
You got the Torch too, didn't you?
No, I just had one BlackBerry. I had the Bold. I loved the tactile keyboard.
Yeah.
I loved the little slider on it.
Yeah.
I loved BBM.
Yeah.
You could add people just based on their PIN number.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
And then you could scan their QR to add them too.
Yeah. Funny memory. Do you remember before you could natively screenshot, you had to download the Screen Muncher app?
Yes.
And that little monster would
monster?
he'd take a bite of the screen.
Yeah.
That's a classic, man.
Do you have any Screen Munch snapshots?
I
Still?
wish.
That'd be epic.
I
That'd be
wish
cool.
I had that phone.
Yeah.
You know what?
Man.
I actually sold my BlackBerry to our late friend Jacob Suter, who has since passed away.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace to Jacob Suter. So that BlackBerry is somewhere in his estate's possession now. But yeah, those things were incredible, and everybody wanted one right before the iPhone buzz took off. Like, I think by the iPhone 3GS, people were really starting to second guess their BlackBerries. But for a while, they were like a huge consumer-facing brand. Now, of course, they have no market share. But the reason I'm interested in them is for their enterprise software. You know, like they create a lot of software for vehicle manufacturers. They have a lot of security applications. They do things for the government. They secure the International Space Station, which is kind of cool.
Pretty legit.
Yeah, they have this software called QNX, but I think they're really poised to be a big player in the autonomous vehicle space.
Okay.
Because they're creating some machine learning technology to kind of process the data that the cars get from driving and make the autonomous driving software better. And I think the reason they're poised to take off is because, first of all, they're already in cahoots with so many auto manufacturers. Like, they do all the work for GM and a few of the European brands as well.
I was going to say, I've heard Buick and BlackBerry together.
Yeah. They do that. And the thing is, in this autonomous vehicle movement, the machine learning is everything. So, for example, Tesla has the largest collection of data collected from vehicles driving because they have the most vehicles on the road. And that's one of their biggest strengths. And that Tesla has this proprietary software is what I think makes them a software company, and more so that than an automotive company. But these legacy automakers, the non-Teslas, who are struggling, who also hate Tesla for dethroning them, the last thing they're going to want to do is give Tesla more money by leasing their software.
Yeah.
So I think BlackBerry serves as a good neutral party because, let's face it, auto manufacturers suck at tech. They suck at software. You know, we talked about this before, even with like Apple CarPlay and Google Auto and whatnot. I want my software made by a software company, not made by Toyota.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Toyota's infotainment sucks still to this day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'll let Toyota focus on quality control and safety.
Yeah.
And I'll let the Apples or whatnot of the world do my software. So I think BlackBerry is poised to be a good neutral party. But also, if you're a Toyota and you hate Tesla's guts, Tesla and Toyota actually had a partnership 10 or some years ago, but now they hate each other. For obvious reasons. But if you don't want to lease software and give Tesla even more money, and you don't want to create your own because you know you're bad at it and you know it'd be clunky and expensive, I think BlackBerry would be a good third party to look to. So
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for BlackBerry, and as a Canadian who appreciated the success story way back in the day,
Yeah.
I think it's cool to see it come full circle and see them get some semblance of mainstream popularity again.
When I was pricing out a Tesla, this is also kind of this is what I think Jared also means by them being a software company, Tesla. The self-driving feature is a $10,000 option, but every Tesla has the capability to be self-driving. All they have to do is click the button to make it a self-driving car.
Right.
Which is insane. So,
yeah,
that's definitely a part of it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's why it's been hard for analysts to value Tesla, because if you're looking at it through the lens of an auto manufacturer, you're going to come to a different calculation than you would if you look at the company through the lens of a software manufacturer. And when we consider the margin difference on automotive versus software as a service, it's huge. Mm-hmm. Plus, there's other things like when a company like that has the ability to give like the Ubers and Lyfts a run for their money, when all this data that they've been collecting over the past some years can be used to deploy a fleet of robo-taxis, which, by the way, is incredibly realistic in the next few years.
Yeah, insurance companies can buy that data, like...
Right. And then you tell an Uber driver, for the same price that you're financing your Toyota Camry, you can finance a Tesla, and we'll subsidize part of it.
And you don't have to be in it.
It's going to be much easier. Even before the vehicles become fully autonomous, it's going to be a better driving experience. In terms of speaking back to value retention, Teslas retain their value like none other. Mm-hmm. So they work out to being, people compare them to BMW 3 Series. They work out to being cheaper than like mid-range Camrys.
Yeah.
The Model 3 I'm referring to.
Yeah, there's 2 of them at Victory right now.
Oh, really?
2 white ones.
Right. And by the way, these things are retailing at $35,000 US dollars. Their next plan is to make a $25,000 vehicle option. So as the barriers to entry become lower, as they keep collecting that data for machine learning purposes, not to mention the other aspects the company's involved in, like they're fully vertically integrated. They design their own batteries, own software,
solar.
Yeah, the factory is the product.
Yeah,
they build the factories and let the rest run its course.
It's actually insane.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. I think they're on track for 500,000 vehicles this year.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and if they're able to hit that target, then I think the stock price is going to reflect accordingly.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
A lot of interesting stuff in the market these days.
Yeah,
I'm very tech market oriented. Yeah, that's what I find cool.
Jared's turned into a robot.
Mm-hmm.
R2D2.
Fully autonomous.
Yeah, baby.
I'm self-driving.
Okay, guys. On that note, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the podcast. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts and on YouTube and all that cool stuff. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.